My name is Dayton, and welcome to the Nostalgia Hunters podcast. I'm here today with my co-host.
My name is Paul.
And today, we got our first episode here, and our first game. Mind letting us know what this game is?
It is elevator action for the SG-1000.
Yeah, see, on my end, I couldn't get the SG-1000 emulator to work, so I just decided to play the NES version, assuming they couldn't be very different. So, we might have had completely different experiences. Maybe they're the exact same.
I would assume they're the exact same, because I got the SG-1000 to work, and I've been playing the game off and on. It's got a really interesting level of difficulty.
For me, I didn't really find it too difficult. What I've been doing is I've been running through the level very quickly, and I'd get down to the elevator, and I'd get down onto the bottom, get down to the car, and then I'd go right back up, midway point, and I just rinse and repeat, and I never really died.
I kept dying, but the highest score I ever got so far was like maybe 2,700 points.
I got into the 90,000s.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe there might be a little bit of a difference to the SG-1000 and NES, because the game I played wasn't that hard. I did end up, killing myself, trying to find glitches or, certain things, and at the end of it, I ended up just going for, a Game Shark and seeing if there was any cheats I could enable, and lo and behold, there was one that I figured out, and that was for, infinite Player 1 lives. And that was it.
Nice. Maybe I should have went with the NES version instead of the SG-1000 version.
I couldn't really tell much of a difference. The colors seemed the same. One thing that did surprise me that when I did start playing is that, there seems to be a sort of collision physics to it, because, when I started, figuring out interesting ways to basically make my player die, whenever you stand on top of an elevator, it will crush you if you go up, and instead of, making, the player models merge or anything, whenever you hit the ceiling, your hitbox intersects with the hitbox of the elevator, and the elevator just starts freaking out, going up and down, or the entire kind of like a modern physics engine.
I haven't really tested that part about it. I wanted to see if you could try to jump across gaps, because I know if you hit the jump button, you can jump into enemies. Jumping across the gap doesn't work. You either get stopped or you just die as you fall on top of the elevator.
Yeah, it is weird, right? You're supposed to be this, action superhero man, right? You fall a foot and a half onto the top of an elevator and you're dead.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't make any sense. Of course, this is early video games for you, the NES, and, for me, playing the SG-1000 version, pretty much the same thing. I mean, granted, I would have liked to have tried to play this back in the day in the arcade version, because this is actually an arcade port.
Would it have been a downgrade or an upgrade from the arcade?
I would have said it been a slight downgrade, because normally arcade graphics usually are better than the home port versions. I mean, you look at some of the earlier ones like Pac-Man. The arcade version for Pac-Man was superb. You look at the Atari port for Pac-Man and it looks like absolute garbage.
Well, that's because it's an Atari. When you take a look at it on the NES or something, it's freaking great, because it's the exact same thing.
That's true. I mean, I guess over the years they figured out how to get the graphics to look better for each system. I mean, Nintendo's done pretty well for themselves over the years.
I mean, until recently, arcades pretty much were always a little bit of a step ahead of, home consoles and even sometimes computers in that aspect, because they were dedicated to being machines that produced a graphic onto a screen. So, 16-bit graphics on the, arcades came out before, a good bit of computers can even run 16-bit graphics unless you spend a lot of money on them.
That is very, very true.
Because, I can go into a arcade now and, you'll see the normal standard stuff, the standard casino-style skee-ball machine, maybe, and, like, the occasional arcade thing, which is, like, either Halo or Mario themed for some reason. But back in the day, like, if you wanted, like, the most top-of-the-line experience in gaming and did not have $5,000-$6,000 to blow on the, newest Pentium 3 out there on your Windows 98 machine, then you went to an arcade. You found, like, good 3D graphics, maybe, if you were really lucky, or, like, most of the time it'd be just, like, what you'd play on DOS. And, like, even earlier then, like, during, like, early DOS, like, Tandy 1000 era stuff, you had 16-bit games coming out, and things like that just, like, made it worth going to an arcade.
Yeah.
Like, playing Action Elevator, or Elevator Action. There's a company called Action Elevator. Don't want to be mentioning their name, because they're not sponsoring us. And, like, you can go to the arcade and play a better version of Elevator Action, or pop on your SG-1000, play it at home, and, like there's, like, there's a drawback and an advantage to both of them. The drawback in the arcade system is that you had to pay to play. And in the home system, it just didn't look as nice and didn't play as nice.
Yeah, I know. So, we found any glitches in the game?
After extensively playing, besides what's already well documented, there really isn't much. I think at one point, I broke the enemies, though, and every time they shot me, bullets would go straight through me and just not affect my player model. I don't know if the hitbox broke or something like that, but yeah, no, at one point during the game I was completely invincible.
Nice. I found if you hit the jump button and the fire button at the same time, you can effectively dodge things as you jump and shoot, and you could hit the enemy, but that's about all I could find.
I mean, for me, I just, took out my my Pro controller. Well, it's like the NES Max, whatever the hell thing, and I just held down the turbo button and turbo fired.
Nice. I have a basic Xbox One style game controller I bought off of Amazon that works. I just plug it into my laptop and I can play any game that I can use a controller with.
Yeah, but you went out of your way to emulate it. Shit, fuck. We're not supposed to mention emulation. Shit. You went out of your way to, not emulate it. Right?
Yeah.
You went out of your way, bought a brand new SG-1000 from Target, bought a copy of Elevator Action, and went home to play it.
Yeah, I found a nifty little shop that sells it for a really reasonable price along with the game.
Yeah, man, like, I personally, I've got my NES off of, the Walmart shelf. They still had one sitting back there after 45 years.
Nice. I found a nice wood-grained, hydro-coated wood-grained NES that has a nifty little game shop, so I bought that. LGR would be proud.
Yes, you would. I have nothing of wood grain myself, but I'm sure he would love my Tandy 1000 SL, and he'd probably want to dip it in wood grain. Now my NES, I found it in the current room that I'm in, because it was a shed, and I cleaned it out, and just lo and behold, an NES with a shitload of good games like Mega Man 2, The Legend of Zelda, Mario. There were some SNES games for some reason, like Donkey Kong Country and Yoshi's Island. And I have a system that plays those now. And they're very fun. They work beautifully, except for like the ones that didn't work beautifully for some reason. Like, have you ever noticed you put something up, it's clean when you put it up, and when you pull it back out, it looks like it was dragged through the mud?
Yeah, it's got like an inch and a half worth of dust sitting on it after maybe a month.
Yeah, like sometimes it's not even dust, sometimes it's just straight up dirt, and like you do not know how it got there.
You're sitting there blowing all the dirt and dust off it like it's an old relic from like 200 years ago, going, oh, look, I found a working NES.
Yeah, Yeah, I can see it now. Like you're digging through your closet. You got the beige, jungle explorer thing, like a bowl cap, the elephant gun on your back. You're cutting through the old grandma jackets, and in the far back, you pull from an old chest a dust-covered NES.
You open the chest and you raise it up like you found a relic in Legend of Zelda, the second one. Doo 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 doo.
Yeah, and like little do you know, you just unleashed a curse upon the world. Free NES. Free NES that you bought 30 years ago, and then just so happened to found when you begin to want to play those consoles.
Yep.
Yeah, but from what I can tell, Elevator Action is, while not the most amazing game, it is one of the better games that I have played on the NES. No offense to Mario and Zelda and Mega Man, those are all bomb games in their own right, but Elevator Action, I have to say, it hit something. I can say that in one sitting I could probably play Elevator Action longer than I could Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, I literally could. I mean, it's one of those games where I could see when it was in the arcades that people were popping, huge amount of quarters in just to see how far they could get. And yeah, I could sit there. I sat there and played that game for at least a good couple hours for a while, just to see how far I could get and see how high I could make my score.
Yeah, see, all of those people who say video games cause violence are wrong. See, we've been violent since the 80s.
Yes, we have. I mean, look at games like Mega Man where you're shooting things, and even some of the bizarre horror games that have come out for the NES back then. You had Friday the 13th and...
Oh yeah, horror on the NES. That's kind of a game that you don't expect.
Yeah.
How do you convey horror when you have, enough pixels to maybe fill an eighth of a current TV screen? Not even eighth, no, the lower left portion of your TV, maybe a cubic inch.
You could go as far back. They made a Texas Chainsaw Massacre game for the Atari 2600.
Exactly, man, and that shit probably played like E.T.
Oh yes, the most infamous game ever created. E.T.
Man, I don't know what everyone hates E.T. for, besides the fact that it doesn't play right, that you can't progress in the game properly, that it generally just looks worse than other Atari games, that it doesn't even have a remnant of the movie plot besides the vague figure of an alien from the movie. You know what? Never mind, I see the point.
Yeah, I on my YouTube channel, one of the earliest videos I did was basically the history of that game, and the basis was Howard Scott Warsaw had to literally rush that game out in 5 weeks to get it out for the Christmas season.
I mean, hey man, he still had more time than the Sonic Boom team. They had to rush that thing out in 3 days?
Oh god, that's just even badder. You look at some of the earlier Elder Scroll games, especially Skyrim when it first came out. That thing was filled with glitches and stuff like that. That if you played that, you're basically going, "Oh my god, I found more exploits in that game than you could possibly imagine."
So apparently, did you know that the guy you play as has a name in Elevator Action?
Yes, Agent 57 or Otto.
Well, the wiki page I just pulled up here said it's Agent 17.
Oh yeah, I must have forgot, but yeah, Agent 17 or otherwise known as Otto.
Yeah, but he's a spy, but What is he spying on?
Apparently, from what I read in the wiki page, if you scroll down, it basically says that you're supposed to collect documents. But I couldn't find any documents at the beginning of the game except just sitting there going up and down in an elevator, shooting and kicking people in black.
Yeah, let's see here. Otto, a secret agent, enters a 30-story building at roof level, and he must make his way down to the basement collecting secret documents whose location... Oh, they're in the red doors!
Okay, so you have to go in the doors in order to get to the documents. Okay.
Yes. See, we never did that, and I'm assuming that 90% of the people who played this never did that. Because when it comes to an arcade game, you don't get a manual, and when it comes to an NES game, who reads the manual?
Yeah, pretty much. You just pop the game in and play as you go, and just figure out the controls and everything as you go.
Yep, this is why I was always transported back. If Otto tries to leave the building without collecting all the documents, he'll be transported to the highest floor that still has an unopened red door. Alright, I'm back.
Something about the NES.
Well, all I'm saying is that I never knew that this game had an objective, because like most games on the NES, on the Atari, all the way up to basically the SNES and other 16-bit systems, most games either had a vague objective, just a kind of all-known objective, or it didn't have one. And this is one of those games that I thought didn't have an objective.
Yeah, but you didn't know the objective unless you actually read the manual, or in our case, read the wiki on it.
Modern technology.
Yeah, I mean, you imagine that back in the day in the arcade, or even just in the SG-1000 or NES, you know, like you said, most of the time, who read the directions on it or whatever? When you go to the arcade, you pop a quarter in and you just go to play. You don't sit there and spend an hour reading the directions to find out what the objective is of the game, then pop the quarter in. You'll have a line of pissed off kids wanting to play the game, and you're still sitting there reading how to beat the game.
I can picture it now, like those study scenes from movies, like the dramatic music starts kicking in, you're in the library, piling books under the table, you're going through them late into the night, the arcade game is still running on your single quarter, people are just lined up waiting there behind you, just in the foreground, but you don't even notice them, you're writing down notes, you're taking notes, you're researching the game, and just as you start losing your mind, you throw all the books on the table in rage, and then the manual just flips open to the right page, and it's like, Otto must go to the red doors and collect documents.
Yeah.
And 3 weeks of research.
All for just that one little bit of info.
That'd be beautiful. It's also very annoying to people had to wait, but still, it'd be funny, it'd be comedic.
Yeah, it would. It'd be kind of akin to a Family Guy episode where Peter thinks he's thinking all hard about one thing for weeks, and finally it hits him, and then it was something just as stupid and simple.
Yeah, it was actually because actually just page 1 on the manual, but the pages slightly stuck together, and you just didn't bother seeing if there was any pages stuck together.
Yeah.
It was in big bold letters too, open red doors. That is one thing that does suck though, is how I can't say there isn't classic style arcades. I know that there's an arcade 90 miles away from me in the main city of our state, and along with a classic arcade, there's also booze.
Yeah, there's about maybe half an hour in one of the malls here in Milwaukee. They converted an old Sears into arcade, but it's one of those arcades where you buy a card, you load it with a bunch of money, and then you just kind of swipe the card, and it doesn't have a lot of the classic arcade games. About 2 hours away from me in Madison, Wisconsin, there is an arcade that you pay $14 to get in, and all the games are free play, and they have all the classic games and some more modern games as well.
Yeah, no, like, I think my nearest arcade is in a place called Quintard, and, it has, no old games, and it is built and structured like a literal casino, and, you got, like, your standard Mario Kart Racer, bike, whatever the hell game. All of it's 3D, by the way, and if anything's pixelated, it's in a dumpster somewhere. But, you know, just the standard games that, like, you'd see in, like, basically, like, the Wreck-It Ralph shit in that movie, except not 8-bit.
Yeah, and if you really wanted to go, you know, as far, you could go to a Dave and Buster's, but pretty much you're getting basically the same thing. You pay to get a car loaded up with some however amount of money tokens you want, and swipe the card to play a game that's not even classic at all.
Yeah, no, like, shit. If I want to go to a Dave and Buster's to play some new games, I'll save the money, buy an Xbox One or PS4, hook that bitch up, and play. I didn't say Series X or PS5, because those practically don't exist. I've never seen one in person, so I don't even believe they've been made yet.
Oh, don't get me started on the Batman PlayStation or the air conditioner Xbox.
Yeah, we got the Wi-Fi router and the mini fridge.
Pretty much.
And when I'm talking like mini fridge, I mean like, you know, like you go to Walmart and you see like in the very back row, like $40, you see them like Coca-Cola branded mini fridges that can hold a 6-pack cans.
And pretty much that's about it. Yeah.
And then you get your Netgear router PS5. Well, I do know one place where there's Series S's, and that's the Walmart in Dallas, Texas. And that's only because my friend lives in Texas, and he said, hey man, there's a Series S here, and I just straight up told him, like, if you buy me one, I will pay you back immediately on the spot, just ship it over here.
Nice. I got my Xbox like 2, 3, 4 years ago as a Christmas gift, and then I have bought I think last year I got my PS5. Or not my PS4, not PS5, sorry.
Yeah. And you know how we select games, right? Like we do the wheel spin. I also have 9th gen on there, which is Switch, Xbox Series X, and PS5. So unless it lands on Switch, you're not seeing any Gen 9 shit.
Yeah, I don't have a Switch right now, so good luck with that.
Oh, I have a Switch. I got lucky enough to find the Animal Crossing one still in stock at Walmart. And I decided, like, shit, might as well get it because it's the only one there. And then I proceeded to buy Smash Brothers.
Nice. I played Smash Brothers on the old, I think it was N64 or Super Nintendo. I can't remember. I remember playing that.
Yeah, well, I may have the unluckiest Smash Brothers experience in existence. Because I bought the game, and I almost thought it was my Switch that was the problem. But I come to find out that whenever I put in Smash Brothers, my Switch crashes.
Nice.
I didn't even get a warranty on the copy of Super Mario, and it's already been Super Mario Smash Brothers, whatever the fuck it is, and I did not even get time. Or no, I waited too long to send it back and return it for a refund or a replacement game. So now I'm stuck with a broken game and a Switch. Thank God I bought Borderlands when I had a Switch Lite. I immediately traded that Switch Lite to get my sister a PC, though.
Nice.
Yeah, man, I am very pleased with Elevator Action. Like, it was a fun game that I'm probably never really gonna play again. It has a vague storyline, which is surprising. Like, usually you only expect, like, first-party games that have storylines. Though I don't even know if, like, Action Elevator is a first-party game. Well, it is, and it's on other systems, but still.
Yeah, I enjoyed playing Elevator Action. It was a very challenging game. To me, it seemed like one of those games that you play just to see how high you can get the score, if you can beat your previous high score or not. It's something I'd pick up at once and play and go, okay, this is fun, and just sit on the shelf and collect dust.
And that's really all a game needs to be. Like, you don't need, a massive expanding storyline where your decisions matter. You don't need Cyberpunk 2077. You don't need a blue hedgehog kissing a woman. You don't need Peach denying Mario for the 80th time. You don't need Master Chief killing some aliens. All you need is a good old-fashioned mindless violence without a storyline.
Yeah, exactly. Like playing Doom.
Now, Doom still has too much of a storyline compared to Action Elevator.
That's true.
Doom's like original storyline, I think, is just like, oh hey, you're here, this is hell basically, kill.
Yeah. I have to go far back. How about, like, Wolfenstein 3D?
I think I can tell you the storyline in, like, only a few words. Hey, look at some Nazis. Here's a gun. You know what to do.
Yeah, pretty much. There's the most infamous of first-person shooters, Duke Nukem 3D.
Oh yes, Duke Nukem 3D. The only first-person shooter that anyone should ever play.
Exactly. You can't go wrong with a character that starts out going, I came here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Yeah. I mean, hey man, I think Duke Nukem was the first game I saw titties in, so...
I think it was the first game all of us saw titties in back when we were kids.
I mean, hey man, you get what you can get at age whatever the fuck you were.
Yeah, and you could shoot them, and you could sit there and pay them money or kill them.
Oh, I did not know you could kill them. I thought they were like an object in the game.
No, you can't.
Not like that. They came out wrong. I meant like a fucking like character model that was like immovable and all that shit. You're just an animated like thing in the game.
No, you can actually kill them. But just be warned, the one area where they mostly are, I think it's like early on in the game. If you kill too many of them, you get rampaged by aliens.
Yeah, man, the aliens gotta get their rocks off too, man, and they don't want to see you killing their up.
I know too many secrets and Easter eggs of that game from playing it over the years, and still continue to play it.
I think the world would be a much, much better place if everyone just played Duke Nukem.
Yeah, screw a purge. Just if you get anger, pop in Duke Nukem and kill aliens.
Like, man, we'd be on Mars by now, man. We'd be in flying cars. Nothing like mindless violence that progresses society.
Yeah, I agree. We need a new invention. Shoot something.
Like, compared to that of the games of its era, Duke Nukem had a phenomenal storyline.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think its storyline was along the lines of, there's some aliens, you gotta kill them, because they're killing everyone else, and you're the good guy. And then there might have been some other subplot shit that I didn't really give a shit about, because I was too busy killing aliens to see. The blood obscured the text, but, But hey, man, look how far we've come. Now, we went from elevator action to the live-action remake known as Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
The live-action Netflix adaptation.
Oh, yeah, some of those are just horrible.
I mean, that's like what half of the spy movies kill these bad guys because they have a document that makes us look like bad guys.
Yeah.
Like, every spy movie is just an adaptation of elevator action, and then, like, shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. The Fast and Furious movies are basically that, except with cars.
Mm-hmm. Don't get me on those. I'm done with the Fast and Furious franchise.
Hey man, Fast and Furious is great for like the first movie.
Let's give it like the first 3. After that, you're basically going, it's like Transformers.
They should take. Who is that guy from that animated Lorax movie? The small short dude. He sung something like, "Let it die, let it die."
Yeah.
Oh fuck! Like that's a huge meme in my kind of group of people, because I'm part of the younger generation here, and like I can't remember for shit.
Yeah, that whole movie has just become one giant meme.
It's become like I have to equate that movie, the Lorax, as like the next Shrek. Because every frame of Shrek is a meme, I can promise you. Every single frame, and same with the Lorax, every last frame of that movie is a meme.
Oh yeah. Especially some of the songs in that movie. Like the one that the one I think the Onceler sings, it just drives you at the beginning. I think it was
How bad?
Yeah, exactly.
I know like a little bit of everything from that movie, but not enough to remember any of the characters' names besides the Lorax.
And the original song they had, except for How Bad Can It Be, was had much more of a point and message to it than what they put into it.
Instead of some boy band bullshit saying,
yeah,
hey man, all I'm doing is being capitalist, and capitalism, if you can view around me, is awful.
Yeah, the original version had the fact that talked to the message was like about deforestation and greed, and the version we got was this crappy hip rock thing where all you talk about.
All you can tell is just like, okay, so capitalism is bad. All right, let's go to Maoism.
Yeah.
Fucking Maoism. That's the first thing that came up. Not even communism. I went straight to Maoism, which is just fucking crazy to me. Like, back on to, I almost said Final Fantasy, which, while it's a great game, they haven't made a new one in the past 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, I know.
And no, the remakes don't count as new games. They're remakes.
Yeah, I mean, this is the whole reason I got a PS4 was because I wanted to play the Final Fantasy VII remake to see how good or bad it was, and I played maybe a good chunk of it, and I haven't played it since.
I'm gonna be honest, the only thing I remember from that movie was the one girl who's wearing barely any clothes who works on your car.
Oh, yeah.
That's literally all I remember.
And then, at one point in time, they had attempted to make an animated Actually, they did make an animated Final Fantasy movie with, it looked like a really good animation and everything, but the storyline was just absolute garbage. It had nothing to do with the game. It was nothing more than a couple actors wanting to jumpstart their careers by doing bad voice acting.
Yeah, that is the one thing about video games and anything media related, is that if you can't control the game, if you can't control what's happening, then you really lost the point of that video game. Because, like, everyone plays a video game because you technically get to decide how shit is done. Even in linear ones. Not every playthrough is the exact same. You'll do attacks in different orders, or you'll probably, like, go to story missions in different orders, or, like, fucking side missions. And media, it's not really that well put through. Except for Sonic Underground. That was the best fucking game TV show I've ever watched.
Oh my god, the old animated Sonic things like Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic Underground. Sonic Underground was was just awesome.
It had awful story, awful voice acting, but goddamn was it cool for a kid in the early 2000s.
Yes.
Sonic Underground! Just great ass shit. Like, who doesn't want a Kid Rock freaking Sonic band who's trying to save their mother, but if they do, they die?
Yeah, I know.
See, kids, Sonic used to be cool.
Then they came up with, I think it was a Sonic X cartoon, and that was garbage and stuff. And
Sonic wasn't cool when Sonic Underground came out, but he used to be cool in the 90s, and then he stopped being cool the second the year 2000 hit.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I can tell you right now, like here's how it was at, like, Sega headquarters, 1999, like 30 seconds before big night on New Year's. Everyone's there throwing a party, and, like, they're kind of like 10, 9, and, like, the second it hits 1, everything just falls to shit. People start dropping dead. Buildings are catching fire around them. just everything goes downhill from there.
Yep.
But hey, at least Sonic Mania was okay.
Yeah, Sonic Mania was good.
See, that's a controversial opinion right there. Either Sonic Mania is perfect or you're wrong in the eyes of a lot of Sonic fans.
Yeah.
It's not a perfect game. It's a cash grab.
Kind of like Sonic Chaotic.
Yeah.
Or the live action Sonic movies, and I do mean movies because they're making a second one.
It wasn't a bad movie. It was just painfully average. You could have replaced Sonic with, the generic token, like, black guy, or some white dude, or some woman, and it would have made the same movie with the same amount of warmth and enjoyment.
Yeah, this is the thing with making movies based off of video games. Half the time, the people that write them don't really stick to the source material. I mean, look at the old Super Mario Brothers live-action movie. That was a complete piece of garbage, and yet I went to the theaters thinking it was going to be cool, like watching it like I was watching the actual video game, and it turned out to be nothing more than, why did I spend my money on this?
Yeah, I can't get that image of Bowser out of my head.
I know.
But, like, sometimes things are done, like Jim Carrey being Eggman. The man went and did his own research, and he made it work. Like, I really enjoyed his acting in that movie. That was, like, the best part of the movie, is that he played Eggman pretty well.
Yeah, I have yet to see that, but I hear that the second one they're putting Knuckles in it, and the voice of Knuckles I think is going to be Idris Elba.
Okay, that's gonna fucking suck.
Yeah.
They either need to make Knuckles Morgan Freeman or Samuel L. Jackson.
I would prefer Samuel L. Jackson Knuckles.
It would be funny as hell.
You see Knuckles all the way there just like, get these motherfucking snakes off this motherfucking plane.
Nah. I can't get that image out of my head now, dude. Samuel L. Jackson voicing Knuckles, that would be, like, it'd cost them a shitload, but it would make an amazing adult-oriented, fucking Sonic movie. They need to throw Ryan Reynolds in there somewhere, because if they're already blowing money on Samuel L. Jackson, might as well get Reynolds in there, too.
Oh, yeah.
Bring it full circle, make like Ryan Reynolds Amy Rose, just for shits and giggles.
Yep.
Or like, you know what? I have the best idea for a Sonic movie that they could do. And hear me out right here. This sounds a little bit forward thinking, but they don't make one. There you go. That's my idea. They just don't make it.
Yeah, I agree. Let's not make a Sonic movie. Please, let's stop.
I mean, there is one thing I do gotta credit Sega for. They at least try new shit. Nintendo's been putting out the same games for the past 40 years with like minor adaptations and gimmicks. I think Bowser's Fury was the most recent time I've had fun playing a Mario game. I did not even enjoy Mario Odyssey. Oh god, I'm going to get crucified by Nintendo fans. But I did not enjoy Mario Odyssey. Breath of the Wild's okay. Hopefully the next one is also okay. But like besides that, at the core, it's been the same game for the past 40 years. At least with Sonic, they try new shit. 90% of the time, it won't stick. And like, the 10% of the time, it does stick. Like Sonic Colors, that shit's a fucking great game, and it is unlike other Sonic games before it.
Yeah, I mean, Sonic just by itself, even people that have never played anything off of the Sega Genesis, they still know of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Now, there's like someone in the middle of India who just doesn't know who Sonic is, but that's a given. But yeah, like anyone like a first world country will know who Sonic is just from the fact that he existed. And like just saying like anyone will know who Mario is, but like it is one thing that like Sega, whenever they make a new game, it's usually trying something new, and even if it's a shit game that they rushed out and that's unplayable, at least they gave it a good old lad's effort.
That is very true. I have to agree. Some of the Nintendo's literally been pushing out Zelda games and Mario games, and eventually it gets tiring. It's like, okay, we've had enough. I've played enough Mario and I played enough Zelda. Please stop.
So I am kind of hopeful for Metroid Dread. But that's because I'm hoping it's actually scary, unlike the other supposed to be scary Metroid game.
They made a scary Metroid game?
Yeah, apparently Metroid Prime was supposed to be scary.
I didn't think Metroid Prime was scary at all.
It was about as scary as Doom 3.
Oh god, that game was... yeah...
Doom 3, I gotta disagree with you there. I enjoyed Doom 3, but also that was my first experience with Doom, and that shows, like, it wasn't bad enough to make me not want to play other Doom games.
My first experience with Doom was the very first original Doom that came out.
Well, that's because you've been alive since Moses was alive.
Oh, come on, I'm not that old. I'm only 44, Jesus.
Man, in this day and age, you might as well be 92.
That's very true. I feel like I'm 92 some days.
I mean, hey man, it's getting worse and worse. Like, at my age, I feel like I'm 23.
You could just sit. There's some days I feel like I'm sitting at like a nursing home with other retired gamers with me going, I remember the Nintendo Entertainment System. It had good graphics for the time it was around. I remember playing the heck out of Super Mario Brothers. Still haven't beaten the game, but still it was such a fun game.
Oh no, you gotta do the thing that all older people do, and it's like, oh yeah, I played on the Nintendo Box 360. I remember playing the Son of Mario's and the Princess Peach games.
Yeah.
Remember, you gotta
I played the What's It Now with the Who's It.
Like, my mom, she's only like 50-something, and like, she calls everything a PlayStation box. Like, I will have my PC, and she'll say, "You playing that PlayStation box, son?"
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but could be worse. At least I have technology. Half of it was broken and I had to fix it, but at least I have it.
That's very true.
It's better than you did as a kid. You probably played with, like, rocks, stones.
I play a game called Hoops. You just jumped over a hoop.
I played a game called Stick Wheel. We take a wheel and we hit it with a stick down the road. You know, like in that movie that takes place in the 1800s? I think it's the, A Christmas Carol. There it is.
Yeah.
My dad, when he saw that scene in that movie, he said, "This is what kids at my age did for fun back in the day." And I'm like, you know, kids at your age, what they did for fun was go to Vietnam.
Yeah, me, kids my age, we played on them Nintendo thingamajiggers.
Yeah, you played on the Nintendos and Ataris. I grew up on the original Xbox. So the kids who play Fortnite now at the age of 5, I might as well be 72 years old. They don't even know what an original Xbox or PS2 is.
Oh, don't remind me. The one game that's come out in recent years that I cannot stand is Fortnite.
Yeah, probably. It also may be PUBG. It also may be any of the other Battle Royale games, from Call of Duty to fucking My Little Pony Battle Royale. That probably exists.
Oh, good lord. Yeah, My Little Pony Friendship with Magic Battle Royale.
My Little Pony Friendship is murder.
Yeah, they've making games out of anything lately. You sit there and you look, oh my god, they made a game off of this. It's like a cooking simulator game. What for?
Hey, Pinky, oh dear God, she's dead! Oh God, the horror! Fucking Vietnam. I can see that so clearly now too. Like, it probably exists as Vietnam flashbacks and shit. The Grand Holy Wars. 7 billion were killed.
No, I would think it'd be more like, they think you do something like that and you kill another pony and all of a sudden you get that old South Park thing where, oh my god, you killed Sparkle, you bastard!
I'm more thinking of like very realistic World War II footage. The ponies are getting gassed. Oh dear, that'd be awful. Yeah, I know. They make a lot of games. I'm pretty sure a famous YouTuber by the name of Mark E. Plier he's playing something called Power Washing Simulator.
Yeah, they've made games out of a lot of stuff. I mean, I've watched Markiplier, and I've also watched Gray Still Plays, who is in the business of playing some rather strange simulation games himself, and breaking Minecraft.
What I can tell is that Gray, his channel is based on playing games, but he mostly, like, from what I can tell, he plays a lot of games that were popular, like, back in, like, the mid-2000s for a short while, and he just plays them. And it attracts huge audiences because, like, everyone remembers these, like, short game bursts, like, Five Nights at Freddy's and all that shit, or, like, No Man's Sky. Like, he'll play that stuff, because no one else plays it on YouTube anymore, and he'll be the only one who plays that, and anyone who wants to watch it, well, he's their only option to really watch if they want new content, and, he gives him a shitload of views. He does really well for himself.
Yeah, he does. He's been doing a lot of the, kind of like the weird Stickman games, and then once in a while he's been doing once in a while a lot of weird Minecraft stuff, which I kind of started doing on my channel just recently, just seeing what weird data packs and mods I can throw into Minecraft to do some of the most bizarre shit possible.
Speaking of Minecraft, I'm gonna set my opinion down right now. Minecraft is the perfect game. There's no game better than it.
I agree on that.
Okay, so here's the reason for the people who are disagreeing. Anyone can pick it up. Anyone can play it. It does not give you massive long tutorials that handhold you, and it gives you small things to do and look forward to completing. But other than that, the world is yours. You can do what you want, and with mods, literally, and I mean literally, your imagination is the only damn limit, and maybe some coding if no one's made the mod and you want a certain thing to do.
Exactly, and and data packs are just fun to work with, and they're actually rather easy to make if you just want to make a simple data pack that you can use. Yeah.
Like I've made data packs before. They're not too hard. To hop into MS Paint and then you got it done.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or if you want to be a little bit more crazy, use some 3D modeling if you want to edit some characters, and that's not that hard because. Again, cuboid structures aren't that hard to, create in, like, Paint 3D.
No, they are not. I mean, and plus, like I said, some of the data packs that people keep coming out with, you're just like, why in the world would you create this? And I mean, I saw a Rick and Morty mod for version 1.16.5, and oh my god, it was hilarious to play with that.
Yeah, myself, I usually stick to the more standard, like, mod packs like Skyblock and Stoneblock and all that shit, just to add a little bit more spice to my gameplay experience. And, like, I've been recently trying to play RL Craft, and, bless my max soul, running on 4 gigs of RAM and a 3rd gen i5, it has to survive RL Craft with me.
Nice.
I'm getting like 30 FPS and I have a render distance of a chunk.
Yeah. They're kind of like the old beta of Minecraft.
Everyone does. Like you could take your old grandma, you could take her, say, hey, play this, see what you think. And she's like, oh, this is interesting, look at the moving character things. Like, she'll forget it in, like, 30 minutes because of her dementia, but, like, still, like, she'll be able to play it while she remembers.
Yeah, Minecraft is like the perfect open world game. You can do anything you want as long as you have an imagination.
And you know what? Even better is that, even if that's not your style of game, within the first 4 minutes of playing, you'll know if it's your style of game.
Yeah.
You'll know if you'll enjoy it, and you'll know if you don't. And if you don't enjoy it, alright, don't play it. You don't even have to buy the game. You can get a demo. And if you're a sociopath like I was, a cheap-ass sociopath, I made the demo. I went into the game files and made it last so long that the universe would end before the demo did.
Oh, nice.
You can literally go into the game files if you really don't want to play the game and don't mind having, like, a singular map. And you can go in there, edit the time file that it will last for, and just, boom.
Yeah.
It's stealing kids.
Yeah, or you could just do the legit thing like I did and actually buy a copy.
I did eventually. Eventually I did, yeah.
I didn't think I would actually enjoy Minecraft when I first started playing it, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is fun, but then I picked it up again recently, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot how fun this game can be.
Yeah, no, that's the one thing, is like, there's a stigma to Minecraft, it's like, oh, that's a kid's game. No, the fuck it ain't.
And if you see some of the stuff people have done with the game, it's amazing.
Yeah, like, there's a porn mod on Minecraft.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my god.
embarrassing story time. How I know this is because I remember getting in trouble for looking up the Minecraft porn mod when I was like 8.
Oh, yeah. Back in my day, people would look for the try to figure out the blood and gore code for Mortal Kombat on the Sega Genesis.
In my day, we'd go to Newgrounds on the school computers.
Oh my God, there's an oldie but goodie. Newgrounds.
Yeah. It's still around, thank God. It survived the purge of Adobe Flash. They have their own way of making it work, I think, and yeah.
Then you're probably around the generation that remembers the Flash version of Happy Wheels.
Oh yes, I avidly played that, and I still enjoy it. I remember watching, I think, Jacksepticeye, Tobuscus, and Markiplier play it.
And Gray still plays. Has been playing it too once in a while. He even plays some of them, and I've been doing it on my YouTube channel as well. I try to get a good old couple user-made levels of Happy Wheels once a week in my channel.
Yeah, I really don't see the appeal in the game to myself anymore, but like if I'm ever feeling nostalgic, I'll hop on, find the game, because it still exists. I even had it on iPhone. I regrettably bought it on iPhone. Do not buy Happy Wheels on iPhone. It really isn't worth it in the slightest. And I played it a good bit, but I fell off from it. It's not really my cup of, like, I like physics-based games like that, but after a while it does get old to me.
Yeah, eventually it does. You just gotta. That's why you just gotta go and play the user-made levels. There's some of the levels that people have created for it are just, you're like, oh my God, how is this even allowed?
Rate 5 stars to unlock nudity. That was like, what, 20% of all the levels on that game?
Yeah.
Speaking of nudity, have you ever heard of OnlyFans?
Yeah.
You know what they've done?
They've literally decided to no longer have adult OnlyFans.
They have effectively took a gun, loaded, they took like a revolver, loaded all 6 chambers, and played Russian roulette with a loaded gun fully.
Yeah, while sticking it straight in their mouth.
Yes. Like, do they not know what happened to Tumblr?
Yeah, I mean, OnlyFans became the adult paywall of Tumblr, and then eventually now they just took a sword, and said, you know what, I'm going to plant this sword into the ground with a blade sticking up and just lean into it till it pierces my heart.
And, like, it even sucks because, like, that was, like, a good opportunity for people who actually did that kind of work, because, like, unlike, you know, like, Pornhub and all that, like, you don't get paid like shit. You get paid by people to see you, like, half naked and shit. And, like, they would pay you money, and you get a majority of that money back. When you work for Pornhub, you have a director who directs you, and then you get a small amount of money up front and no more money afterwards. And all the revenue that comes from that video goes straight to porno.
Yeah, I know.
So, like, that's a kick in the leg to, like, people who actually do that kind of work, because, like, now they have to deal with, like, abusive websites who take advantage of them, because they need to be able to feed their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, speaking of a kick in the leg, you watch Le Mans?
No, I don't.
Well, Le Mans happened recently, and, you know, Toyota won. Good for them. But I feel real bad for the number 41 car at the dead end of the race with like a few minutes to go, or not even minutes, like a minute to go. Their engine stops, and they stop dead in their tracks.
Ouch.
And as Toyota is crossing the finish line, they burst on through to get third in class, but they didn't hit the line. They didn't hit the finish line, so it didn't count.
Ouch.
But they were going to make third place after everything that could go wrong went wrong in mere seconds. They fucking busted their ass down there. And because they missed the finish line just by a very small amount, they did not get third place in their class. And that sucks ass.
Yep.
But in better news, the Paraplegic Team they did extremely well. Like there was a team of paraplegics who were racing, and they did really well. I think they were like 33rd in the entire thing.
No, that's not bad.
For like a 100-person race, I'm pretty sure. That is not bad at all. That is amazing. It's a real feel good moment for Lamar.
Yeah, it is. We've kind of got off the topic of video games.
Yes, we went from elevator action to Le Mans.
Yeah, and OnlyFans and some other stuff. So I think let's end this with a review of elevator action.
Yeah. If I had to give it a star rating out of 10, in the 80s, I would have given it a 7 out of 10, and today, I'd give it a 3.5 out of 10.
I'd give it in the 80s maybe about a 7 out of 10 as well, but nowadays playing it, I'd give it maybe 2.5 to 3 out of 10.
Well, that's it for you. If you're gonna play Action Elevator, you suck.
Yep.
That's all, folks.
Yeah, that is. Yep. Alright, so this has been the Nostalgia Hunters podcast. I am Paul.
And I am Dayton.
And we'll see y'all in the next episode.